Hello, Aries. How are you doing today? I hope everything is going well and that your life is shaping up nicely. I am going to push all of my negativities aside. I had an issue this past month with an Aries, and let me tell you something. I was hot. Okay, so I'm gonna put that aside and just remember I'm not reading for that Aries. I'm reading for all the other wonderful Aries people that I know who are fair and upright and who are on top of their game. All right. So what I'm going to do with everybody is I am going to be reading from the Lenormand. We're going to read from the Lenormand deck today. I got two cards from the Lenormand that's going to set the pace, and then I'm going to go to the Revelations Tarot by Zach Wong to do your detailing and get it into the nitty gritty. All right, Aries, this is you. There you are. I don't know what's going on with that nose out front. Is that that's the little beard maybe? I don't know. But anyway, there you are, Aries. So we got two cards here. We got the crossroads going on. This was the crossroads, and we have the moon, okay? So there's some things going on behind the scenes that you don't really know about, Aries, is what I'm saying. It puts you at a bifurcation point. It puts you at a place where you may not know which direction you're headed in, or you're looking to see which direction to head in, but it's still nebulous. There's a part of that journey for you that's not quite clear. You're not quite clear about it. That's why we have the moon energy. Also, what you need to do is pay attention and be focused on the moon. So like your full moon and your new moon, of course, but then you also need to look at your first quarter and your last quarter. You need to look at your phases of the moon, and you need to move with the phases of the moon. Okay, that's the best thing for you to do right now in terms of really getting a sense of direction and where you're supposed to be. All right. Oh, you know what? I went to the wrong thing. I'm going to let's go here. So whenever you're at a crossroads, I always tell people look up. When you look into the left or right, up and there, you don't know where to go. You need to look up. You need to pray. You need to ask for guidance and direction as to where you're supposed to go. When you get your guidance and direction, then you're going to know. So I'm seeing some movement here. That's good. That's a part of the process because you do want to be moving. This, for some of you, is in relationship to matters of the heart. Maybe you're thinking about moving on, moving away, moving into something else, moving toward that which you love, finding sanctuary within yourself, finding where that belongs. But there's some kind of cloaking, something undercover about it. Something about you not being up and up. You're not really speaking your truth, or you're not being honest about what you really feel. Also, it looks like there may be some money issues involved here. I feel like this is a relationship. Maybe you're in a relationship with somebody, but there's some financial situations involved in it that you're not really being honest with yourself about. So it could be that the person, maybe you might be dependent on the other person for financial reasons, and therefore you're not moving. Could be that. It could also be that there's something related to money that you're not sharing with your partner, or you're not sharing with this other individual, and then therefore it starts to feel like there's some cloaking. Again, we've got the moon here. So it looks like there's something not being seen or not being said, and I'm seeing that here in this card as well. So that's where I'm going to say there's a bigger concern. With the Knight of Pentacles here, not sure what's happening with that, but let's keep looking. Also has to do with finances as well. Yeah, it looks like this person, it could be a woman in your life, or it could be someone who represents feminine energy in your cipher or in your circle that has their hands on this. There's maybe some way that you're feeling about this that you're not expressing or you're not saying. It has you wondering whether or not you should move on from this relationship or find a new relationship. I don't know if somebody's trying to control you through the money, or you're trying to control them through the money. It's something to that effect, though. It has something to do with that, which is, definitely a concern. So we have the high priestess here, which I think is always the warning to be on the up and up, right? When you're dealing with high spiritual matters, or when you're dealing with things from a spiritual perspective, you got to be honest and upfront more than anything. Here's the Empress card in the picture as well. In order for you to be able to access that from a pure state, you're going to have to be honest about what you're feeling and honest about what's happening. I feel like this is with a partner. It's you and your partner maybe arguing or something around the money, because you got the heart space in here, you got the money going on in here. And you got the crossroads, and you got the moon, and you got somebody not saying something. It's something physical, because it's all of these pentacles card. Pentacles, pentacles, pentacles. Then we got the queen. Whoever the queen is in the picture is holding the bag. So somebody else is holding the bag, or you're holding the bag, and if you're the feminine in the relationship, you're the one holding the bag. If you're not the feminine in the relationship, the person who is carrying the feminine energy is the one who is holding the bag. Yes. And that's the issue. That's the conflict. That's the issue. That's the conflict. So you got to learn your territory. You got to know your territory. What's your territory and what's your area? Some of this stuff doesn't have anything to do with you. There you are, the king of cups. So you're bringing love to the table. Looks like your partner, it looks like the masculine in the relationship is bringing the feelings and the emotions in the relationship. The feminine in the relationship, or the feminine person, whatever, in the relationship, is bringing forth the more of the stability, the grounding, and that kind of thing. And for whatever reason, somebody may not be feeling that, or you may be hiding how you're feeling about it, but you're going to have to go to a higher place with that, because otherwise it's going to be damaging for both individuals, okay? Or maybe even damaging to the relationship itself. So it's very important for you to do that. Now, you may not feel like you want to do that with your partner. You may want to do that separately. Go to your own therapy session and work through those emotions for yourself, because it looks like some insecurity that may be present, and you need to get a handle on that. You know, you need to get everything together around that, because right now I'm not seeing that that's what's happening. What I'm seeing is that it's still creating this chasm between you and this other person, and we don't want to create chasms in our relationships. We want to try to keep the doorways of communication open and clear. You want to keep that open, and you want to keep it clear. That's very, very important. But that's what seems to be the conflict, Aries. So this is about seeing yourself clearly, putting these pieces of the puzzle together for yourself, really getting a better understanding, an overstanding, because you really got to see this from the spiritual, not from the physical. That's the reason why you got the high priestess here in this deck. You have to see this from the physical, from the spiritual, not from the physical, because this whole illusion of the physical is getting ready to be null and void. It's already been null and void, but the thing is that sometimes we're not quite sure, you know. So I do see you coming out victorious here, coming out on top of the situation. So I think that now that you know what you're dealing with, and if you can go ahead and address that insecurity or what you're feeling around it, then you'll see that there's going to be a better outcome for you in this, or you're going to have a better feeling situation. And that's what we're reaching for. Better feeling situations where your emotions are not being tossed around unnecessarily, based on something of probably a material, something material. So we have to learn how to navigate that. We have to learn how to get past some of that kind of stuff, because it has caused a lot of damage in our perception, and it's also created damage in relationships as well. Lots of damage in relationships around money and finances, and who holds the bag, you know. And it's funny to me, because you know how people will say, well, No, it doesn't matter to me if this person makes more money than I do because it's all going towards the same place and we're all family, so it really shouldn't matter. You're right, it really shouldn't matter. However, sometimes it really actually does matter. And if it actually does matter, you need to say that and not be doing this number right here. Covering your mouth and not saying anything about it. And if your relationship is truly strong enough, it will make it past this. Because your relationship has to be strong enough to make it past little simple things like the physical. If it can't make it past that, it doesn't, it's not worth its weight. Okay. And that's the truth right there. If you're in a relationship and you're struggling with something of a material nature, then your spiritual nature, the spiritual nature of the relationship is not strong enough to hold the relationship together. And that is the triple truth, Ruth. Okay? That is the truth. It has to be strong enough to withstand that. If it can't withstand the things like money and sex and whether or not you put the toilet paper roll on the wrong way, and I want this, I want a fence, and you want siding on the house, and we got a fight between who gets the fence and who gets the siding, all that material type stuff. If your relationship cannot sustain past things like that, I'm talking about objects of the physical world, then you don't have a spiritual connection. You just think you do. Because if you have a true spiritual connection, things of the physical end up being, easy to navigate, or it's just a conversation and then you navigate it and then you move on. That's how you know, to be honest with you. And it's not to say that you don't have problems. People have financial problems all the time. Sometimes people have physical problems, meaning that, they might have, somebody could be in a car accident and be a paraplegic, and now all of a sudden you have a very physical issue to work through. Okay, so that's what that teaches you, is how strong your spirit is with one another, how strong your spiritual relationship with somebody else is. You will find out when the physical world and your physical world together is challenged. So that's a way for you to think about that, Aries. Okay. All right, if you need any other further information, you need a deeper dive, need another reading, or if you'd like to do some energy work, or if you need herbs and spices and things like that in your life, you know where to reach me. I'm at Wooing Nature, and you can find me on Facebook. As always, I hope you have a great day, and I hope you're having a wonderful life.